Hey gaming fans, so today's another Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile, and this one is Gren, Maju, de Isa, whatever, and Machines. So basically what I was trying to do was come up with a new build, a new kind of like Gren Maju build, because sadly we lost to Pot of Desires from the deck, and this card is really what helped the deck work, you know, the whole Gren Maju deck, the Banish 10 cards. Now that we only have one Pot of Desires, I was trying to come up with, alternative cards and stuff like that. And I realized, maybe let's go with less one-trick pony and try and, add some more stuff that can actually attack. So Machine seemed like a good choice because there's a machine that helps banish. So anyways, let's get to the build. So obviously we're going to have the three Gren, Maju, Isa, whatever. So they're pretty much your. These guys get really big based on how many cards are banished times 400. And the good thing is it doesn't matter if they're banished face up or face down. So obviously this is the main part of the deck. But then we also have Eater of Millions. Helps you banish more cards. So this one, you're pretty much going to banish your whole extra deck. You might not want to do it all at once. Maybe you'll just banish like 5 cards, depending on how the duel is going. Because in this build, we actually can utilize our extra deck. So it really depends on how things are going. If you're going to win that turn, why not just banish the whole thing? But so for the rest of the cards, we have 3 scrap recyclers. So this is going to help get your main machine guy into the graveyard, which is going to help to banish more cards. So when this card is normal or special summon, you can send 1 machine monster from your deck to your graveyard, and then once per turn, you could shuffle 2 level 4 Earth Machine monsters from your graveyard into your deck to draw 1 card. So that part is kind of unnecessary. Well, it's not even possible, I think. I don't know. We don't even play level 4 Earth Machines anyways. So the main card you're going to send with his effect is the Gizmek, Orochi the Serpentron Sky Slasher. Quite the name. So this card is, if this card is in your hand or graveyard, you could banish 8 cards from the top of your deck face down, special summon this card. Then you could banish 3 cards from your extra deck face down, if you have any. Then target 1 face-up monster on the field and destroy it. You can only use 1 Gizmek, Orochi the Serpentine Sky Dragon, whatever effect, once per turn. So this is the one you're going to want to utilize the most. You want to get him with your scrap recycler into the graveyard as fast as possible, because banishing those 8 cards is what's going to make your Gren Maju and to some extent your Eater of Millions becoming really, really, really big. But we're also going to focus on some more of the Machina archetype in this. So I put in 3 Machina Air Raider. We want to have a lot of level 8s too, because we are playing trade-in in this deck. So you can discard 1 other Machina monster, special summon this card from your hand. During your opponent's turn, you can target 1 machine monster you control, special summon from your deck 1 Machina monster with a different name and equal or lower level than that monster. And if you do, destroy the targeted monster. So this came out of the Machina deck. So this is a really good card. Really pulls out the card you need. We also have 2 of the Radiator, I don't know. I can't pronounce these cards. You can discard 1 other Machina monster, special summon this card from your hand, and then you can target 1 machine monster you control, special summon from your graveyard 1 Machina monster with a different name. So it's kind of similar idea, but it's targeting the graveyard, and it's level 8, of course. Then we're playing 3 of the Machina Fortress, just to get some power onto the board. Like I said, I was trying to focus this build to be a lot less dependent on the Gren Maju OTK kind of build, and just have more stuff to throw at your opponent to deal with. And the Machina Fortresses are great because you could just keep bringing them back from the graveyard. You could special summon them from your hand or graveyard, just to get more, power on the board. Then we have 2 of the Machina Cannon. Again, these are level 8s. Like I said, we're using trade-in, so I want to have a lot of level 8s in this build. And this basically cannot be normal summoned or set. Must be special summoned from your hand by sending 1 or more machine monsters from your hand to the graveyard. Indicates 800 attack for each machine monster sent to the graveyard. It's got 2200 defense, but you know, it's just another level 8 machine, and we can end up using it if it's on the field. It can be pretty useful. This deck can special summon quite a lot. Then I threw in the one Machina Mega Form. Again, another level 8. You contribute this card, special summon one Machina monster from your hand or deck, except Machina Mega Form. If a face-up Machina fortress you control is sent to the graveyard while this card is in your graveyard, you can banish that Machina fortress from the graveyard to special summon this card, and you can only use it once per turn. So basically, if these guy's in the graveyard, you can get this guy out. He's 2600 attack, you know, still pretty solid. And I threw in one of the Machina Citadel. Why not? He's pretty big. He's 3000 attack. Cannot be normal summoned or set. Must be special summoned by a card effect. This is another one, you know, with your scrap recycler, you might want to throw him into the graveyard because he can basically recur himself. If a face-up Earth Machine monster you control, except himself, is destroyed by battle or card effect while this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon this card. So pretty much with your scrap recycler, you send Machina Citadel to the graveyard, and if your opponent attacks it, you're going to get this guy on board. So you get another nice 300 attacker. And then just to add in some extra stuff, I just threw in 3 effect veilers. You know, just your typical hand trap. I don't have the Ash Blossoms yet. One day I'll probably get a pair or a set of Ash Blossoms, but you know, I have effect veilers, so I'll work with those. And for the spells, we have 3 Machina Redeployment. This is just to get the Machina cards to your hand really fast. You just activate this effect, discard 1 card, add 2 Machina monsters with different names from your deck to your hand. The other one, I don't play any Machina card other than monsters, so the secondary effect, which grabs any card with Machina in its name, is no good. So this is basically just getting Machinas to your hand. Of course, we have the one Lonely Pot of Desires. That's all we're allowed to play now. I kind of wish this went to 2. You know, at least at 2 it would still be somewhat, but I guess everybody was just kind of using this as their pot of greed for almost every deck they played. Because, you know, banishing top 10 cards isn't always a big thing for most decks. So I wanted to add more draw power because we lost the Pot of Desires. So I added 1 Allure of Darkness because we are playing, if I can get there, these guys, which are darks, and your Eater of Millions. So you got 6 targets in here, and you might not be playing them all, so you'll have maybe 1 in your hand for Allure of Darkness. Then we got Iron Draw, which is another draw card for machines. So if you control exactly 2 machine effect monsters and no other monsters, draw 2 cards. Then for the rest of this turn, you can only special summon once. Chances are that's all you'll ever do. You're not going to be special summoning that often in this build. But just getting 2 extra cards, and it's so easy to get 2 machines on the board on turn 1, with your cannon and your fortress and your air raiders and all that, and even your Gizmek. You can normal summon Scrap Recycler, send your Gizmek to the graveyard, banish 8 cards, and then special summon him, and now you could activate Iron Draw to draw 2 cards. You can only activate once per turn, but you know, if they sit in your hand, maybe you can discard them for fodder, or hold on to it, or if you have more than 2 effect monsters, you might need to clean up your field a bit. You can go into your extra deck. Then, of course, I said we had 3 trade-ins, so that's why we're playing an abundance of level 8s, so we'll always have a trade-in target, and just to go through the deck faster for more draw power. Then I threw in a Foolish Burial, because, you know, we want monsters in the graveyard, like I said, with Citadel, your Fortress, your Gizmek, all these cards you want in the graveyard anyways, so why not play Foolish Burial? And because we're doing that, we're going to have a Monster Reborn, because again, we're filling up our graveyard, so why not add Monster Reborn? So that's that build so far. Then I realized that we have to have somewhat of an extra deck, because we're going to be banishing most of it, but we also need the extra deck to help us out a few times. Maybe if you have 3 monsters on the field, and you have your Iron Draw in your hand, you can't activate it. So maybe you need to condense your field, turn 2 of them into 1, so then you'll go back down to 2 monsters so you can draw 2 cards again. So we'll have cards like Platinum Gadget, which is a machine, So if you have 3 monsters, maybe you can turn 2 of them into 1, and then you'll have 2 for your card to draw again. I mean, this is an okay. It cannot be used for a link material. To turn it is link summon, which is fine. During a main phase, you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower machine monster from your hand to the zone this card points to. So I guess you're Scrap Recycler. If this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon 1 level 4 gadget monster from your deck. We're not playing gadgets, so it really doesn't matter. These guys are just machines, so you need 2 monsters with different names. Just really, again, just to get rid of some monsters off the field if you need to. Most of these will probably end up getting banished anyways. You know, and put in just a power code talker and a Boro load, whatever. Like I said, most of them will probably get banished when you start banishing your extra deck. And then for the rank monsters, the XE's monsters, they're all level 8s, because we do play a ton of level 8s, some which have no attack. So we can go into like Gimmick Puppet of Strings, which again is a machine monster, so you can again clean up the field, get your, you know, go from 3 monsters to 2. Plus you get a 3000 body, which can do some pretty crazy things. This one can destroy monsters with string counters that it puts on it. This guy, because he's a machine and he's a googly eyes guy, and he's pretty fun. 3000 attack, again, just to get stuff off. And then I threw in an, you know, extra level 8s that I had, or rank 8s I should say that I had. So we have what is this? Number 38, Hope. I can't even read it. It's like, I don't like the gold printing sometimes. It's reflects off the light. You can't even read it. But we got the Heroic Sun. But, I mean, these are just filler because, again, we're going to be banishing a lot of this stuff. This is really just to fill out the extra deck to 15 cards so we can use it for banishing. And if we want to XE summon, we got the freedom to do that. So that's pretty much this build that I came up with. I thought it would be a little bit more of an aggressive, slower build than our typical, you know, let's banish 100 cards and attack for game kind of thing. Just a thought I had, because, you know, working with the Gizmic being a machine, and it kind of works in hand with the other machines. Anyways, hope you like the deck. Let me know what you think. Throw some comments down below. You know, always like to hear what you have to say. Hope you subscribe. Talk to you later.